Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's Top 10 Child Actors in Star Trek. So this is a Patreon requested video requested by Tyler Cease, where I shall count down the top 10 actors, child actors in the Star Trek franchise. So the ones, I think, just my personal opinion, the child actors I think are the best. So, such is the deal in all these lists like this. I try to think of the best that I can, but it's inevitable that I'm going to forget some, so I may leave some out. Some people might bring up, oh, what about these child actors or whatever. So if I miss any, you'll have to forgive me. Now, a couple rules. So child actors means they gotta be children. They gotta be young. So, my rule of thumb is that they have to be, at the time of the episode airing, 15 years or younger. This actually excludes a couple that I wanted to include because I wanted to put the actress who played Miri in the episode of the same name, but I looked it up and she was 19 years old when that episode was made, so doesn't qualify, even though she was playing like a 12-year-old or like an 11-year-old. But even a bigger difference happened in the episode, I believe it's The Storyteller in DS9 Season 1. The Storyteller had a B-plot about a Tetrarch leader, a young leader of a Bajoran village visiting Deep Space Nine, and Jake and Nog hitting on her. Mainly Nog had a thing for her, and she was supposed to be like 13, 14. I looked up the actress, and she was 23 when that episode was made. Oh my God, she must look really young. I'm pretty sure they said she was 14 in the episode. So yeah, couldn't count a 23-year-old. So I'm also excluding the main characters who were teenagers, Jake Sisko and Wesley Crusher, because, well, they're main characters, and I don't even know if they qualify as 15, maybe when they first started, maybe season 1, but definitely got older as it went. So I'm not counting them. I'm including one-off guest actors and a couple of recurring characters, but yeah, sticking to the child actor thing. Now, talked about before in other videos that hiring child actors is hard. It's really difficult, and they always say never work with children or animals because they're very difficult to work with. And so it's actually really impressive when we come across some child actors who do a really good job. So here to call that out in my humble opinion. So let's get started with the top 10 child actors in Star Trek. We'll start with my number 10, which is Clara Bryant from Move Along Home. So yes, she played the little girl that says, "Alla Marine, count to 4, Alla Marine, and then 3 more." Now, you might be wondering, like, she barely appears in the episode, and all she does is say that rhyme. So, Mark, why would you include her in your top 10? And I do have a very good reason, a very specific reason for including her in my top 10, and that reason is screw you. That's why. Because I love this episode, because screw everyone who says Move Along Home sucks. Having the little girl going, "Elma Rain," it was one of the best moments of the goddamn show. So there! That's my reason. Anyway, we'll move over. We'll move over to my number 9, which is Marlee McLean, who plays Mazolti? I'm not even sure to pronounce her name. You know, the Borg kid from season 6 of Voyager. Mazzotti? I don't remember her name. So she was in multiple episodes of season 6, one episode season 7 of Voyager. And yeah, I thought she did a pretty good job as a Borg. you may think like it's this fallacy saying, oh, they're like kind of emotionless and blank faced, so that's easy to do. It's actually harder to do. Anyone who plays a Vulcan or Borg could tell you that. Because you have to try to inflect some emotion, but within the structure of being sort of a emotionless. And I think she actually does a pretty damn good job, especially for a child actor. So she's my number 9. So next we'll get into my number 8, which is Isis Cameron Jones, who played young Guinan in the episode Rascals. It's funny, she only has 2 credits in her entire acting career. One's playing young Guinan in Rascals, and the other is playing a young Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2. So both times she was playing a younger version of Whoopi Goldberg. And apparently she had no other credits. She just stopped acting after that. She just did 2 young Whoopi Goldbergs, and that was it. And I don't know why. Like, she was a good actress. I thought she did a good job. I think she was the only good child actor in that episode of Rascal. Because I think she, again, captured the sort of serene feel of Guinan very well. And so I was very impressed. And as I said, the only good child actor in that episode. Anyway, so then we'll move over to my number 7, which is Gabriel Damon, who played Jeremy Astor in the episode The Bonding. Now, it has been a while since I've seen this episode, and I think I do recall there were a couple of scenes, a couple of moments where I was like, that acting isn't really that great. But so that's why I was a bit hesitant to put him on the list. But then I thought of there's other scenes where he actually does a damn good job. Like when Captain Picard goes to tell him his mother died, and he plays that sort of emotionless in shock very well. And then later when the alien is like posing as his mother and he's like very confused and doesn't know what to do, I think he does a really good job with that. So yeah, so I think the good outweigh the bad, so decided to put him on the list at number 7. So then we'll get to number 6, which is Brian Bonsell, who plays Alexander Rozhenko in multiple episodes. Not Reunion. I think his first episode was New Ground. And not, of course, DS9, because he got a totally different teenager to play him there. A lot of people call Alexander annoying. I never really found him that annoying, but I gotta give the actor credit. I think for the most part, he does a good job with Alexander. I'm thinking specifically of episodes like Fistful of Datas. I think he does a really good job of being sort of excited, or Cost of Living. Yeah, he does a good job. The higher, the fewer. So he's not the best actor in the world, but no, I think he did a solid job. So next, we'll get into my number 5, which is Hannah Hatay, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, who plays Molly O'Brien in multiple episodes. This is like getting really, really young. I'm not sure exactly how old she was, but she looks to be like 4 or 5. I think Molly's supposed to be 4 or 5. And okay, she's not the best actor when in the earlier episodes, like I don't know. I think in season 1, like, she's just a typical, but she's like 3 or 4 years old, so cut her a break. I think she does good considering that. But when she gets older, you get episodes like even Whispers, where she's not that much older. I think she does a good job of playing playing to the like uneasiness, unpleasantness, weird feel that Whispers was going for, and she fits in quite well with that. But particularly when you get to later episodes, like, even though it's not a good episode, Times Orphan, she actually does a good job. I know she only appears in the start and the beginning because they have an adult actor playing her throughout the middle, but still, through those 2 bookends, I think she actually does a really strong job. Like crying and being upset and being happily reunited with her parents. Like, so yeah, I think she did a really good job. I think they need to bring her back in Modern Trek. I think she's in their 30s now. So have Molly O'Brien being in Starfleet. We need to see it. Anyway, next we'll get into my number 4, which is Emma Ho. From All Those Who Wonder, which is an episode of Strange New Worlds. Now, I will give full disclosure here. Strange New Worlds is the one Star Trek show that I cannot rewatch at the moment because I currently do not have Paramount Plus, which I will be getting again, of course, over the summer when Season 3 comes out, but at the moment I don't have it. And I have every Star Trek show on DVD and Blu-ray except for Strange New Worlds because it's the only one that hasn't finished yet. Like, I wait till the whole show's finished and I buy the entire series. Strange New Worlds hasn't finished, so I don't have it yet. So I am not able to rewatch this episode. So I'm just going off of vague memory from seeing this like 4 years ago or however long it's been. But I got to be honest, I'm mainly remembering Emma Ho from The Expanse. She appeared in 6 episodes in the side storyline of season 6, the final season, and I thought she was fucking amazing in that. And I do remember seeing this episode, All Those Who Wonder, which is not a great episode, it's like an Aliens ripoff, but I do remember thinking, wow, that actress did a really good job. And then also finding out it was the same actress from The Expanse, so I'm like, that makes sense. Now, I was also considering Ian Ho, who is Emma's brother, who also played her brother in The Expanse. He was also in another episode of Strange New Worlds. I can't remember what it's called. It has some long title, but it's the one about the kid who, and he played the kid who was supposed to be this great ruler, but it turns out that he was just being tortured and murdered or tortured for the rest of his life in order for the rest of society to be a paradise or some shit like that. And again, I mainly didn't include him because it's been so long since I've seen that episode, and I think he did a good job, but I don't really remember. But I'll just, mention him here. Anyway, we'll get to my number 3, which is Scarlett Palmer's, who plays Naomi Wildman in multiple episodes of Voyager. And as annoying as I think this character is, and I think that she's kind of a cliche, and it was just like, oh, look how cute it is that this little girl's making friends with 7 of 9. I think, leaving that aside, because it has nothing to do with the performance the actress gave, which I think was actually pretty damn good. I think she was consistently good. I never thought, oh yeah, this is a horrible child actor. No, I thought she was always on point. Always believed her, and sometimes they gave her some complex things to do. So that's why she lands at number 3. So next we'll get into my number 2, which is Lulu Wilson, from the episode Nepenthe of Star Trek Picard, where she played Troy and Riker's daughter. And so she's at the sort of high end of my age allowance, because I'd said I'd go up to 15, and this actress was in fact 15 when this episode was made, or at least when it aired. So yeah, I really wanted to include her though, because I think she did an amazing job. I thought this was a great character. I think Nepenthe is easily the best episode of Star Trek Picard. And what they did with Riker and Troy was amazing, and particularly, meeting their daughter and seeing how sort of wacky she was and had her own language and shit, and the way she sort of really, attached to and sort of could relate to Soji. I just think that was really good. And that whole storyline thing, it was amazing. And I think she did such a good job. Totally bought her. So great child actress, even though she's on the high end of the age. But anyway. Anyway, we will get into my number 1 favorite child actor in the Star Trek franchise. And that will be Noli Thornton, who appeared in 2 episodes. Imaginary Friend played Claire in Imaginary Friend of Next Generation, and also played, I can't remember her name, but the young girl from Shadowplay, the episode Shadowplay Deep Space Nine. I mentioned when I reviewed both those episodes that I thought she was absolutely amazing. I think she's easily the best child actress that Star Trek had. Both roles in both episodes were very complex, and I think she totally sells both of them. Imaginary Friend, like, she has a lot of emotional range, having a friend who's constantly getting into trouble, but then turns out to be this alien with glowy eyes who she's terrified of, and she plays all of that like so well. And then in Shadowplay, she has to play someone who is really a hologram, but is missing her mother who disappeared, and who befriends Odo and has sort of childish fascination with him being a changeling, but they form a bond, and again, she sells that so well. So that is my number 1 favorite child actor in the Star Trek franchise, Noli Thornton. So that is it for my top 10 child actors in Star Trek. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and be sure to check out my channel as I continue to do more videos on Star Trek and other shows as well. And at the moment, I'm covering every episode of Deep Space Nine and Voyager, 1 episode at a time, so you can check out my channel for that. You can support me on Patreon if you really would like to. There's a link in the description below for that. And thanks so much for watching.